It's like real, I ain't taking L's in Madden all year.
Yo. What's good, YouTube? It's Ray Drill. So today's video I want to show you guys is gun Trey Flex Strong mini scheme in Madden 23. So if you enjoyed this video, go and drop a like on the video right now. Go ahead and sub and turn those post notifications on. So I am in the Kansas City offensive playbook. Again, I'm in the Chiefs offensive playbook. Now, before I go any further, just a couple things. If you've seen my last video, I just want to quickly talk about it, just kind of summarize it. Now, if you want to, please go check out the comment section and look at what everybody said and look at what I said, and you get a kind of idea of how I feel about Madden and State. So moving forward, my videos are going to go a lot like this, and I do want to start doing Players Lounge or CFLs or something like that. So I just don't want to play regs online as far as schemes go. I would rather showcase those schemes in something that's more fun to me. I'm just not having fun on regs online. So that's pretty much the message of last video. So if you, like I said, check out that video, check out the comment section if you just kind of want to know a little bit more. But without further ado, man, this is the scheme I was trying to run in the video before I got frustrated. So I just wanted to take the time now to talk about it because it's actually a really good scheme. So I'm just showing you the Bears because that's who I tried it out with. The only thing bad about the Bears, their offensive line is not the best. But regardless, you can still work, and I'll show you how I like to dissect defenses with this particular offense. So first and foremost, personnel. It kind of doesn't matter. We'll talk about it as the video goes along. So just as a rule of thumb, I like having my fastest receiver in this position, and I like having my I like having my best route runner right here. Normally, I like to have my fastest receiver right here. So that's why Velus Jones is here, and then we have Darnell Mooney right there. And this spot really doesn't matter as much. So why I like this offense, right? So the reason I like this offense is because, of course, they're going to have inside zone. They have outside zone, which it can be pretty good. They also have this 0-1 trap is extremely good. So they have 3 great run plays. Now, in today's video, the plays I'm going to be talking about in the pass game is going to be PA slot cross, and I'm going to show you, where is it at? I'm going to show you dagger sit. I'm going to show you why you can alternate between these 2 plays, and I'm also going to sprinkle in and show you a zone concept as well, and that's going to be out of the jet chip wasp. Now, if you like this scheme and you want a full ebook on this, like a full breakdown of exactly how I run this versus, the defenses, the meta defenses and stuff like that, the meta coverages, make sure you go on my website, allthingsmadden.com, go to my personal ebook section and request for me to do this formation. Also, I have about 10 or 11 other ebooks that's on the website. So link is in the description if you're interested in that. So without further ado, man, what I'm going to do, I actually put in outside zone and I put in 0-1 trap because I want to showcase those runs for you. And we're going to talk about jet chip walls. We're going to talk about PA slot cross. And the play that we're going to come out in is going to be the dagger sit. As soon as I find it, there we go, dagger sit. Now for defense, what you're going to realistically see is either dollar or you're going to see some type of 3-3 either cub, or you're going to see a 3-3 normal, or you may see nickel over. But all of, I'm going to come out in dollar because most likely that's what you're going to see, to be honest with you. So what we're going to do is come out in cover 3 first and foremost. Now, I know I came out in cover 3, but I'll be audibly the man covers because I want to talk about man and then in the video talking about zone. And I only want this being about a 10-minute video, so we got a lot to talk about here. But first and foremost, I want to show you the run. So to show the run the best, I'm going to put my user on the corner out here. So that way you can see how the computer will actually play versus the run. So what we're going to do is talk about 0-1 trap. I really love this 0-1 trap. Now, what I love to do is double team this D tackle every single time, because if you don't double team them, a lot of times they'll get an instant shed, and I'll show you that here in a second. But what I'm going to do is most people online will pinch their defense. So I'm going to go ahead and pinch my defensive line. And this is how most people will do it. So as you can tell, the lineman is actually going to go climb up and block the user. So it's going to open up that hole tremendously. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead and show you again. So I'm going to pinch the defense. And now what I'm going to do is not double team the defensive lineman, Kenny Clark. So let me kind of show you what that looks like. So notice how we're able to go around him, but notice how he's almost in the backfield. So that's why I love to double team him every single time. You get really good animations. And if they're playing a light style of defense like this, even if they play man coverage, because some of you might be saying, well, what if they run man coverage? Will it still work that way? And I'm just here to tell you, yeah. So let me just show you right here. So we double team that guy, and I like to ID whoever you think the user is going to be. So let's say I think it's him right here, right? So what we're going to do is, snap the ball, and you can tell if I didn't get a bad animation, we were able to follow our blocks. And you could really just be annoying with this one little 0-1 trap. It's really good between that and inside zone, extremely good, and this outside zone is pretty good as well. So I'm going to pinch my defensive line. We're going to go to outside zone real quick. And I like to do the same thing, double team that D tackle. And you just want to read it. So sometimes you can cut it back. Sometimes you can take it all the way outside. It's literally up to you. So I'm going to run it one more time and I'll show you just me taking it outside and then we'll be done with the run plays. I just want to show you that, you can, you just want to read it. Like I said, a lot of times I don't like going outside because the outside, it's not the best. It's normally better just to cut it up. It all depends on what defense they're in, but most of the time you're going to be cutting that ball up as soon as you get the ball. So it's going to look like an inside zone almost, but it's just different blocking, which is why it's nice. So anyways, moving forward, I want to show you why I like this versus man coverage. So I'm going to go back on the D-line. Now I'm going to start spying my D-line, and the only reason I'm spying my defensive line is just so I can have a little bit of time because this is all Madden practice mode that we're on, so they're going to shed really, really fast. So first and foremost, I want you to notice something. So this route right here is a man beater. You see how deep this route is ran? Now I want you to look at this PA slot cross. Notice how this PA slot cross, notice how this crosser is not as deep as our triangle route. So again, I'll show you. Let's reset it. So you see, look how deep triangle goes. So triangle is going to go to about the, what's that down there, the 35 or close to the 30, right? So now let's take a look at PA slot cross. Notice how that goes right up under the 40 basically. Or maybe right at the 40. So this route is ran a little bit deeper. So it's going to be hard for them to zone drop both of those routes. So we want to utilize both of those because both of those routes are man-beating routes. Now, what's important to know if they're playing two high safeties or not. If they are playing two high safeties, you're going to want to run the shorter route, which in this case is going to be the PA slot cross, right? And I'll go ahead and show you why here in a second. But with this PA slot cross, what I love to do is a couple things. So normally I like to take X, put them on the in route. Smart route is in route. Take triangle, put them on the drag. Swing my running back to the left side. And sometimes to mess with the user, I'll snap it like this or I'll motion this guy right here. So you might be wondering why I motion him. And when we motion him, notice how he's off the ball now. So sometimes he actually get a free release depending on who he is. But it's gonna be harder for that CPU to press him because notice how we go back. They have a better way to press him. Even though he's off the line, they can still press him, but he kind of stacks, right? And you also can motion snap as well, which means that they won't be able to, press him. So that's how I would use it. I should have said that at the beginning, but you want to motion snap that guy so that way he doesn't get a press. So again, the reason I like this play, excuse me, I couldn't talk for a second, but the reason I like this, for one, we can motion snap this guy. So if they got a good slot corner, I love to motion him to let him run that drag because it's going to open up a little bit better. Now obviously all Madden practice mode is not going to let that happen, but in game it's definitely something to look at. Now what's great is that this backside post right here can split man coverage. It can split the safeties, and I'll show you that here in a second. But what I wanted you to pay attention to is if they do not put a purple and they keep a deep half with the user's going to have to choose between this in route or this crosser. So as long as you have time in the pocket and you can block your running back if you need to, you can block him if you need to, but as long as you have time in the pocket, you're going to choose between X, which is our tight end, and this route right. So notice how the safety is not going to be able to play that, right? Because it's not ran deep enough. So what I'm going to do now is show you a similar setup, but I'm going to show you with this play right here with triangle running it. So to kind of show you a similar setup, I'm going to take circle, put him on a streak. Circle, put him on a drag, X on the in route, smart route is in route. And I'm only doing this just to show you a similar setup, okay? That's the only reason why I'm doing that. This is not the setup I want to use with this play. I just kind of want you to see that safety. And I forgot to spot somebody, so I may have to roll out the pocket. But notice how deep he's ran. That's what I want you to pay attention to. That's why I wouldn't use that if they're playing a too high safety look, okay? So you want to use this play when they start zone dropping. Now, what I love to do versus man coverage, this is the actual setup that I love. I'm a spy Kenny Clark and Gary right here. Is it Gray or Gary? I always say his name wrong. Gary. Okay. So this route right here, if you have a good matchup, if they have the number one corner on your tight end, do not look at this read, okay? But if they match it up by overall, a lot of times you'll have a good matchup right here. Or if they match it up by speed, you'll have a good matchup right here. So if you have a good matchup, this route can actually win against man coverage. So a setup I love is taking circle, putting them on a slant, and you want to motion this guy across, right? So what's going to end up happening is that motion over slant is going to win a lot of times. But I want you to watch X. Now, that is Jair Alexander, okay? So that's not going to get open versus him, okay? But what's important, and you're going to see in the replay, is when he sticks his foot in the ground. That's what's the most important thing with this play is. So again, quickly, I'll just kind of show you this. Obviously, I mean, a motion slant, we all know motion slants are going to be good versus man coverage. Now, I love this speed in route because it's ran different than a normal in route. So notice he puts his foot in the ground and puts his foot in the ground. Normally, that's why I like to put a good route runner here, because that little move right here and right there is going to create a lot of separation if you have a good route runner, right? So right here is where you want your speedster at. So again, this setup is great if they do not have a safety. If they put that guy in the purple anywhere down here, we're going to be able to throw this ball a lot of times over the top. So you'd want your fastest player right here in this spot, if that makes sense. Now, lastly, I know I say lastly, but this route right here, I want you to notice how he puts his foot in the ground, right? He doesn't kind of round it off. He puts his foot in the ground and sticks it, and that's normally signifies that that's a man-beating corner route. Like, this designed to beat man coverage. But this is J. Alexander, the best corner on the game, against, you know, a 70 overall, you know, Komet or whatever overall he is. Not high at all, so obviously he's going to be on it like glue, but it just gives you a read to make it, that makes sense. Now, to kind of put this in more perspective, let's say your opponent wants to put a purple out here, right, to account for the crosser, and then he put this safety right here, and then he wants the user, this guy right here, he might shade over the top. So if they do a defense like this, we'll be able to feast because he has to guard this slant. If he does not guard the slant, we'll take it every single time. And with triangle, it's just such a good route. Hopefully I have enough time. Just notice how he's going to be able just to run straight past both of those. And 25's made a good play, but we give our guy a chance, if that makes sense. So notice how he just had a couple steps on him. And that's all we can ask for out of our offense. And don't worry, y'all, I got y'all. We're going to be moving forward a little bit. I just got one more setup I want to give y'all, and that's going to be the video. But just want to kind of explain to you why I like this. And notice how, like I said, we're going to be able to run straight past that middle third. They're basically useless on this game. And if your opponent is trying to use their middle third and play this style of defense, then they're going to have to run with that. Unless they have their fastest player guarding him, then at that point, if they have that happen, I would just actually go to PA slot cross, and then I would just run this setup right here if they wanted to do that. Because then at that point, if they didn't have their fastest player on Mooney, then of course I would just hit this post route, if that makes sense. So let's just kind of, I guess, re-simulate it. So let's say this is the user, so we'll put him in a purple to say the user wants to go follow a backside slant or something, right? And we're just being hypothetical here, that's all. Now, I don't like the play action. If you watch the gameplay, the play action is just not good at all, so please cancel it. But look at square. You just want to throw it out there, give them a chance. And like I said, normally that route is good for good route runners with speed. So your number one receiver is going to be fine in that scenario. So last play I want to give you is going to be versus zone. So normally you want to run this with the 3 receivers to the wide side, but I have the ball in the middle just to simulate that you can do this with the ball in the middle. But normally you'd want to be on this hash mark, or, you know, obviously this hash mark, but flip the offense, if that makes sense. But I'm going to put it in the middle just to show you that it's possible, okay? So this is versus zones. This will work versus any zone coverage in the game, and I'll show you versus cover 3 and cover 2 just to show you that it does work versus any zones. And then that's going to be the video because I don't want this video being too long. So it's a simple setup. You want to take square, put him on a streak. You want to take X, put him on a streak. So you just want to have 2 streaks, and that's literally it. Now I know you might be thinking, real, no way it's that simple. But what you want to do, though, I'm going to spy Kenny Clark, but you actually want to double team whoever it is on the outside, because you want to roll out the pocket or drift out the pocket that way. You do not want to throw this ball standing in the pocket, because what's going to happen is a lot of times the user's going to follow circle, right? And we're going to drift once we see the user follow circle, and then of course we're going to get to throw out a sack and then throw a pick. But but I'm going to go to 3 plays to show you why I said I like this, right? So this is basically just baiting, basically. So if you get the ebook, you'll see how I love to use PA crossers and show you all the concepts that we like to actually get this player open right here. So what's going to happen is with this setup, any cover 3, this hook zone is going to automatically man match on our crosser. So now again, this is going to simulate the user, because all users are going to be to the weak side of our trips. Now why is that? Because most of the time they're expecting to have to guard the PA crossers, right? They know that's coming, so that normally they're going to use her on this side of the trips. Now if they use her on the other side, on this side, and they don't use it at hook zone, we can actually do something to glitch the hook zone out to where we have a wide open dot. But like I said, all that would be the ebook, because I just don't have enough time to show you guys all that. But anyways, what you want to do is, this is only if you have time, okay? So if they're rushing 5 people, please don't try to use this concept, right? There's other concepts to use. This is good for people who are rushing 3 or 4 people, okay? So you want to double team, you want to slide in the pocket, and then of course you're going to see it open, because what's going to happen is this running back out route is going to pull down any purples, clouds, and then we're going to be able to just throw it right over the top, right? So I just want to show you versus cover 2, and then that's going to be a video, because this definitely does work. And also, please don't run this versus man coverage, because it's not going to work like you want it to versus man. It's just not And then when I say that, I mean triangle. Triangle is not a man-beating route. I know it looks like it could be, but I promise you will throw a pick if you try it. So just don't do it. So anyways, you want to double team when you want to drift out in the pocket. And you don't have to drift far. So that's why I wanted to show you, because you don't need to just roll out the pocket. You just want to drift a little bit. And that little bit is what's going to create that route to get open a lot more. So like I said, you can just literally just step a little to the left and you're good. That's literally it. Now, obviously, if there's zone dropping, this guy might be somewhere up in here, you know, depending on where they want to zone drop at. And if that's the case, then we'll just take this all day, right? Now, on this side, a lot of times your user's going to be running with this. Most likely, your user will run with that. Now, if they're not zone dropping, then you're going to have this throw open all day long. If they are zone dropping, it depends on where they're zone dropping, because sometimes you can pass lead it up. But like I said, it just depends. But you can kind of tell this is just a really great play. Now, I know this looks open, but I would never throw this. Just wanted to be clear, I would never throw that. It just looks open, but they always, for some reason, let this guy like loop around and pick it off. So just don't be tempted, okay? I know it's tempting, but don't fall for it. But yeah, like I said, man, if you like this offense, just let me know. It's everything on my website is $15. That's my eBooks. Go to Mills also has the eBooks on there for next gen. So if you want next gen specific, make sure you check it out on his little page. And anyways, man, that's gonna wrap it up for this video, though. I do hope you have a blessed day. I'm Ray Jarrell, and I'm out.